What's going on? What are you guys doing? Anybody all right? Chilling? Yeah, so where do I begin? We got our show notes here. You know, I've realized that streaming on Mondays, I don't think it's just going to work for me, you know? I'm a 38-year-old man, got a family, self-employed, and also, I never thought growing up, and I realized, like, I'm not young, I never thought growing up I would have to do so much paperwork. Like, I just don't be sitting here, man, just in the crib. Like, I be having a lot of shit to do. So yeah, I got the show notes here, down below in the description box. You can read along with me for the next hour or so, give or take. We got a lot to go over. Jaime Munguia defeats Demetrius Ballard via KO on DAZN. Zepeda versus Luis Veidas, I don't know how to pronounce his name. The WBO has officially ordered Munguia versus Janibek Alimkhanuly for the WBO interim title at 160 pounds. They're still waiting on what Andrade's going to do, if he's going to move up to 168. No, I don't smoke anymore. I got my PAX 3 vape here, top of the line. So I don't smoke anymore. Just can't do it. Especially since I got COVID. Like, that's just, you know. Zaur Abdullaev defeated Jorge Linares via 12-round KO knockout on ESPN Plus. We're just going through the show notes, and then after I read all of this, we're going to go over everything individually. So yeah, it was pretty. Listen, so I got some highlights and clips for Jorge Linares getting knocked out in the last round, and I predicted that shit too. You just can't trust that guy. Jorge Linares was knocked out 12th round on ESPN Plus in Russia. Dibella joins forces with Probellum. What is Probellum? Who's in charge? Full roster breakdown. We got to look at the boxing schedule and the fights of the week. It is a busy but lackluster-ish week, in my personal opinion. We got a lot of fight cards. I'm talking about if you're a degenerate boxing fan and you want to see guys like Sonny Conto, Ray Robinson, Guillermo Rigondeaux, Lawrence Okolie on a Sunday, you know, that's this weekend. That's this weekend. Like, no bullshit. That's this weekend. Like, all those names, they're fighting this weekend. Next bullet point, Guillermo Rigondeaux returns. Lawrence Okolie versus Michael Cieslak. Fight week preview predictions, undercard. I got to be honest with you. As I was setting up the stream, I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to go take my shower. And then I was like, you know what? I'm missing something. And as I'm checking the fight schedule, I'm like, fucking Lawrence Okolie fight this weekend. And I've covered all of his fights for like the last 5-6 years or so. And somehow I forgot he was fighting this weekend. Poor Lawrence Okolie. Undisputed 140-pound champion Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall fight week preview and predictions. Undercard Robeisy Ramirez versus Eric Donovan. Looking forward to that. I like Robeisy Ramirez. Nick Campbell versus Jake McFarlane. I don't know who the hell that is. I got to be honest. I don't know. You know, a lot of times I do cover a lot of boxing, more than the average boxing media person or YouTuber. I cover a lot of boxing. But sometimes I'll be like, yo, who are these people? You know? But yeah, Nick Campbell versus Jay McFarlane, broadcast on Sky Sports Boxing in the UK and ESPN Plus here in the States. Now, once again, we're just going through the show notes. We just started the stream. So I'm just reading everything we're going to go over, and then we're going to go break things down one at a time. Showtime Championship Boxing preview. The February 26th card, Chris Colbert versus Hector Garcia. It was originally supposed to be Chris Colbert versus Roger Gutierrez of Golden Boy. Gary Antoine Russell versus Victor Postol. Ooh, that's pretty seductive. I like that. And then you got Jerwin Cajas versus the Fernando Martinez. I feel like I've heard of this Fernando Martinez dude. I feel like I've heard of it. I heard of him before. Dillian Whyte signs his portion of the contract to face Tyson Fury April the 23rd, 2022. That's going to be on BT Sport box office over in the UK. Not official. Supposedly Sky's supposed to be in a running too. And then here in the States, it's going to be on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, midday pay-per-view. Ew. Imagine being an American and paying for Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte on pay-per-view. I mean, hey, listen, you know, whatever. And then we got a whole bunch of other brief show notes here at the bottom. You know, like, you know, Canelo Bivol look like it's getting close. Which Jamal Charlo going to do. Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson is official for April the 30th. Errol Spence Ugas, April the 16th with the undercard. Isak Cruz versus Gamboa. Radhab Butayev versus Amantas Stanionis, the Lithuanian. Julio Cesar Martinez moving to 115 and face Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Felix Hergovitz and Zhang Weili. Oh, that's the UFC chick. Let me stop tripping. Zhang, what's his name again? The Chinaman. What's his name again? Well, him and Felix Hergovitz are supposed to be putting something together to be the mandatory for the IBF. Anthony Joshua still doesn't have a trainer. We're waiting to see what's going to go on with him and Usyk in the rematch, likely May or June or so, as I predicted. When they were talking about February, I was like, that shit ain't happening in no motherfucking February. I watch too much more. Let me stop cussing. I watch too much boxing, you know. Of course, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, April the 30th at Madison Square Garden. I wish I could go, but you know, them damn vaccine mandates. Supposedly, the way things looking, these mandates are going to lighten up this year. But that's why I haven't been going to no fights. I'm not getting no needle to go to no fights. I'm scared of needles. I'm scared of them. You can say Chinaman. You can say Chinaman. Let me not start. But I've researched. It's old timey. But you can say Chinaman, and you can say Oriental still a little bit. You know. But anyway, you're right. I don't want to get canceled. That's the last thing I need in my life. And yeah, so let's begin. Let me tell you something about this Jaime Munguia. You know something? People say shit like, you know, he still needs time to grow. He's still green. He's a former world champion, ladies and gentlemen. So it's like, I get, you know, Golden Boy is having some issues, you know, with like really having like a big star, you know, the carry the stable since Canelo's been gone. They've been trying to, you know, like build up Ryan Garcia to be that guy, build up Jaime Munguia to be that guy. But fights like Demetrius Ballard, let me tell you, I sat here 9 a.m. I was there here 9 a.m. 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. I'm talking about I was full of boxing life. I was like, you know what? I am back, baby. I'm going to be covering the shit out of boxing today. I had all my videos all planned out and set up. I sat here and I watched that entire Zaur Abdullaev versus Jorge Linares card, which we're going to talk about next. And then I didn't end my night until Demetrius Ballard got his ass knocked out by Munguia. And by that time, I was disgusted. You know, because what happens is throughout the day, I started getting more and more untethered with boxing. So I went from covering that 9:30 a.m. card to the 1 p.m. card on ESPN Plus, Khan versus Brook, which I enjoyed. I streamed during the card. Thank you for, you know, everyone who joined the stream. And then took a little break, prepped some food, did a little bit of chores, came back down here. The Munguia card didn't start till like 9 p.m. So I'm watching Munguia and I start getting real irritable. I'm like, why won't this motherfucker fight somebody? And let's go look at his resume. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. In fact, let me pull up his post-fight interview. Because supposedly, him and Janibek Alimkhanuly, an Eagles Claimer top rank fighter, they're supposed to be entering into negotiations because the WBO, released a statement saying that they have 10 days to start negotiating the deal, or the fight's going to go to purse bid. Now, this Alimkhanuly guy, watched him a couple of times on the top rank shows. You know, he did dispatch of Rob Brandt. And then Hassam Endam, 11-0 with 7 KOs. But overall, I don't know how I feel about him. Let me pull up a little bit of tape here. And since I don't know how to, I know how to spell this off the top of my head, I think. But anyway, let's just copy and paste that and head on over to some highlights here. A little bit of highlights. And just watch a little bit of tape. Tell me what you think about this guy.
Jab outside. Oh, he hurt.
Look at that uppercut. And down he goes. Knockdown scored here in round 3.
Did y'all watch this fight?
He's on cruise control, and he clearly is in control.
See, okay, so here's what I want to say. I want to say that he's a better, I'm going to go ahead and say that he's a better technician and a better overall fighter from what we've seen from the Kazakh fighter. He can fight. But when you have a pressure fighter, a power puncher like Jaime Munguia, who's also a very big guy himself, by the way, he looked like he was great after the weigh-in. I'm glad he's all right. Did y'all see that? Where he, like, you know, casually just passed out, you know, after the weigh-in. He tried to make it seem like he's like, I'm going to lay down for a bit. But lay down in like a conference room on the floor. Yeah, but like, it's like, you know, it's time for him to invest in a strength and conditioning coach, because that's what I think it is. You know, I think he's doing like them hard weight cuts before the fight, you know, like during the weigh-in, you know, like the day of. And that's why he was looking so sick, because basically he's new to the division. So looking at this guy, you know, I'm just like, you know, I just don't know. Because, you know, what happens when Munguia hits it? You see what I'm saying? It's not enough there yet. And that's why I have to say it's a 50-50 fight. Now, who would I give the edge to? Because I've seen more of Munguia. You see what I'm saying? 39-0 with 31 KOs, 25 years old. Gabriel Rosado, solid win. Kamir Zepeda, solid win, you know, you can say, because he fought Golovkin. You know, Turiano Johnson, even though he's very long in the tooth at this point in time in his career, these are nice, solid wins. The Aladi and Gary O'Sullivan, nah, he's supposed to beat those guys. And many feel, including myself, that he should have lost to Dennis Hogan that night. By the way, Dennis Hogan is fighting against Wade Ryan on March the 2nd. And guess what? I've been editing videos all day, and we got an interview thanks to Big J from Dennis Hogan. How about that? Doing some big things in Australia. So Liam Smith, very, very good win. You know, aging very well. Liam Smith is returning against Jesse Vargas April the 30th on the DAZN on the undercard of Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. They were both supposed to fight, me and Smith and Vargas, on February the 5th, but one of them came down with COVID. I don't know who. The Saddam Ali, he just bulldozed him. Saddam Ali just was masquerading around at 154. He shouldn't have been there in the first place, just like Miguel Cotto, you know, shouldn't have never been at 160. But when you look at overall the 160-pound division, right? We might as well say, okay, Demetrius Andrade's moving up. We're seeing what's going on with him and Zach Parker. So Munguia and Alimkhanuly are going to be fighting for the WBO interim title. And then if Andrade moves up, they'll be elevated. Golovkin and Murata are going to be fighting, I'm guessing, in April. Golovkin is back in camp. We're waiting for a date. The fight got postponed because of COVID and COVID restrictions. That's a big, big super money fight. He's going to do big numbers over in Asia, Asian territories, on Amazon Prime over there, by the way. Here in the States, it's going to be on ESPN. No, excuse me. Where will this be in the States? I believe this is going to be on the DAZN because of his DAZN deal, not on ESPN Plus, despite the fact that Ryota Murata is a co-promoted top-ranked fighter. Well, anyway, we're still waiting on news if Canelo's going to fight Bivol, which I think is going to happen, and then Golovkin's supposed to be also involved in that deal if he beats Murata for September. And then you got Jamal Charlo. If Jamal Charlo does not get Canelo, I'm expecting for Jamal Charlo to fight Carlos Adames or Salusky. I'm just looking at, you know, the rankings. It's going to be Carlos Adames or Salusky. That's who I think Jamal Charlo is going to fight if he doesn't get Canelo. And there, ladies and gentlemen, you have the 100. Let me pull up this 60-pound division broken down. Let's see. Where was this post-fight interview? They're going to make me log into the DAZN to see his post-fight interview. Golden Boy. I don't really know if I feel like doing it. Y'all want to hear Munguia post-fight interview? Why can't I get notifications from you? I really don't know. We were shadow banned on YouTube for, was it 30 or 90 days? I don't remember. So that messed up my algorithm in YouTube, so I was on probation for a while. I don't know. It's supposed to be over. So I am seeing an uptick in numbers again, but the reach of the channel has been restricted like significantly the last several months. Let's see. So as far as Munguia is concerned, we're waiting for him and what he's going to do, or if, you know, that Alimkhanuly fight is going to happen for the WBO title. Zaur Abdullaev defeated Jorge Linares via 12th round KO knockout on ESPN Plus. Let me see if I can find a highlight. You know what? Let me just log into ESPN Plus. Go look at the clip. You know, I was never really high on Jorge Linares. And on Twitter, by the way, follow me on Twitter at T Street Controversy. The links to my social media are literally down below in the description box. I put a link to my link tree, which I created and I paid for. I got the pro, and I still don't know how to use this shit yet. That's a known thing with me, where I buy all this gadgets and programs and shit and don't want to use it. Boom. There's on my social media platform. I am on Twitter at T Street Controversy. Well, anyway, I predicted that Linares, in a situation like that, fighting in Russia, he had a high probability of getting knocked out. I noticed as I was watching the fight, his legs, like, you know, I don't know if he didn't, you know, train properly or get up properly for, you know, the Abdullaev fight. By the way, both fighters, let me pull up the clip real quick. Both fighters, of course, if you don't know, fought and lost to Devin Haney. Abdullaev was stopped. Linares went the distance. But Linares, in my opinion, here's Abdullaev. He was stopped by Devin Haney in 2019 in round number 4. That was for the WBC interim title. Solid win over the Cieslak. I've always had issues, you know, and then Jorge Linares. Linares, 47-7 with 29 KOs, been stopped 6 times, 36 years old. His last fight was against Devin Haney. And isn't it funny that the only person who didn't stop him, after everybody who stopped him, it was Devin Haney who didn't stop him. And he was whooping Antonio DeMarco ass, and DeMarco stopped him. Then he had that fight in Tokyo, Japan. Where's that fight at that he lost, he wasn't supposed to lose? This one. So I was like, yo, I better tune into this fight. He's in Russia. He signed a 3-fight deal with this promoter, RCC Boxing. And I was like, this motherfucker gonna lose this fight. And sure enough, the second half of the fight, he started slowing down and he got his ass iced. He got his ass iced. He's not dependable, but he's not going to retire. He said he's going to stick around. So that's supposed to be a WBC eliminator. It hasn't been confirmed if it's a final eliminator, but it's supposed to be a WBC eliminator, which means Zaur Abdullaev is on his way to being Devin Haney's mandatory. Ew. In my personal opinion, Devin Haney needs to just get rid of that belt. You know, because let's go look at 135 before we move on and break it down for you real quick. That belt is doing him no favors. It means nothing. So it's safe to say right now, I'm highly confident, and me and Big J did a big deep dive on Haney Camboso's low minimum 135-pound division in one of our best videos yet, you know, on Australian boxing, if I don't say so myself. We did it a few days ago, and I feel that it's pretty much set that Cambosos and Loma are going to fight in June. And it's supposed to be a T-fight deal, and I'm predicting that Loma's going to win. So which means that all those belts are going to be tied up for the year 2022. Crazy, right? So what does Devin Haney do? He's not going to fight get Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is fighting Tagu. And Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, you know, it's some dialogue going there from what I'm gathering. For if Ryan Garcia wins against Tagu, Ryan Garcia is trained by Joe Goosen, by the way. Joe Goosen is pretty much a PBC trainer. But moving on. Ryan Garcia beats Emmanuel Tagu. Can somebody tell me when that fight's happening? Because I don't remember. If he beats Tagu, who's a Lou Dibella fighter, there's a good chance that if Tank Davis beats Rolly Romero, which could be the June or July PBC pay-per-view, that we can see Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis and Loma Kambosos 2, both of those in the fall of 2022. So who does Devin Haney fight? Who does Devin Haney fight? Like, the belt means nothing. And he's already been talking about moving up. It's time to move up. He's got to go. It's nothing there for him. You know what? Burchell? You know, like, he hold on, you know, like, for that. But let's say Loma does beat Kambosos twice. Then, you know, they're going to try to build Burchell up to fight Loma at 135. I don't think that Devin Haney's going to get a significant fight at 135, bro. Like, he's got to go. He's got to move up. Hey, let me pull up this tape. My bad. I wasn't paying attention. Hold on. ESPN Plus. I got all these bookmarks. Jeez. I got to get rid of some of these joints. Consolidate. But yeah, I just don't think I'm going to be able to do Mondays. I want to do like my boxing podcast in this video, like the boxing weekend recap and preview the fights of the week. I want to do that on Mondays. But see, since I dedicate my whole Saturdays, I'm talking about, like, if I sleep on a Saturday in that 24-hour period, it's probably like a 2-hour nap or something. So then Sundays, I got family shit to take care of and, you know, resting. And then by the time Monday comes, I got to take care of all my personal life shit to be able to dedicate my week to boxing. So, you know, Mondays, unless it's like a special press conference or something, Mondays are not going to work. You see what I'm saying? Let's go look over Top Rank on ESPN Plus, see what's going on. Here is the Taylor Catterall fight week schedule. I'm going to pull up some little brief highlights of this right here. Is this the main card? Yeah, some brief highlights of this. Yeah, I used to box when I was younger, but I lacked the discipline. And I used to, like, whoop people ass in the streets, too. Like, I used to be a son of a bitch, man. My hand is fucking broken still. I was a lowdown. Like, ugh. Like, you ever look back at some of the dumbass shit you did when you was a kid? And you was like, boy, I was a fucking dickhead. Like, just a dickhead. Like, you know, and that's why I be really feeling for this youth out here, because they make these stupid decisions and mistakes when they're younger. And then that shit go catch up to you when you old and you be realizing, like, yo, I was a fucking dickhead. Why was I hanging around then? Why was I doing that? Why was I doing this? You know? Boy, I don't know why this is bullshitting me around. It's not opening it up. Give me a minute. It's not even a play button. Am I signed in? Ah, there we go. There was a dead link. But yeah, Linares got a boot put in his ass, bro. You know, that last round. Let me see if I can find a clip for you. And for the most part, like, the first half of the fight, you know, he was winning, you know? But his legs just don't seem like he got it. You know, and he got knocked out. It was like, what? Anybody know what the scorecards was? I should have looked them up. He got knocked out. Oh, it was a horrible broadcast, by the way. It was only about 30 seconds left. Hold on, I'm fast forwarding right now. We're in the mix. Like, it was horrible. They're gonna really make me play through all around 12. Like, it's horrible. They're not letting me fast forward. Well, anyway, if you didn't see the clip, that's on you. Or I can just pull it up on Twitter. How about that? I should have did that the first time. No, but I do need to lose some weight, though. I've spent my time as a fat man, and I enjoyed it. But now it's time to go back to normal. I got some snack. How about that? You know, like that? I got some snack products. I got this. I got that. You know, I just got to make sure, you know, I use it properly so my heart don't pop. I don't want that in my life. T-Street's got enough shit going on. Doesn't need his heart to pop. No way. But yeah, I got to cut some weight. You know, I be eating fine ass foods. Here, let's go look at the Linares get a boot put in his ass. Let me rant a little bit. Mind you, between rounds 11 and 12, the ESPN Plus broadcast cut out. So the American version, so you had to go to the ESPN Plus Spanish version to finish the card. I was pissed.
La lona el de Venezuela y esto puede ser letal en las tarjetas. Puede rifando Linares ante un joven pegador y peleando que lo lleva. Una lástima.
Una eternidad le queda a Linares. Una eternidad. Otra vez
a la lona y creo que no más. A ver, se pone de pie.
Yeah, bro got iced. No, I don't eat fast food. It's not fast food. I eat fine ass food. Dude, you want to know something crazy? I got 8 million views, photo views on my Google page. So basically, I'm a foodie. I go around reviewing foods and shit. Here, I'll show you. Like, I'm a local guide in the top 10% of restaurant reviewers in the nation. Isn't that crazy? So this weight, this ain't no bullshit weight. I be eating tomahawks and shit like that. Let me see if I can show you. We don't have enough time for this. It got me off. Oh, let me see if I can show you. Got me off. You see it? Oh, wait. My bad. Full screen. Yeah, bro. On my, you see it? I review, like, food on the internet. Yeah, for real. Like, I can actually have a whole career doing that shit. But, you know, I just rather just eat, you know? So, no, I ain't eating no bullshit. On to the next topic. Now, I got an email from... How much time we got left? Oh, plenty of time. Got an email from Probellum. By the way, take your time out. Like the video if you haven't. Yeah, I got 8 million something. Like, I'm in the top 10% in the nation. Isn't that crazy? So when I go to restaurants, I get like special treatment and shit. So got an email of Lou Dibella joining the new promotional company Probellum. Hold on, let me pull it up. I'm trying to find there. Probellum is run by Richard Schaefer. Hold on. But we don't know where the money's coming from. They don't have an American TV deal, even though they did have a couple of fights broadcast over here in the States. But not on like well-known channels. I believe I watched one on like AWE channel or something like that, and I don't know where I watched the second fight. Well, anyway, this is their next upcoming event. But Lou Dibella has joined forces with them. They've joined forces with several other smaller promoters, like Sergio Martinez's promotional company. Here's their athletes. Rumors are, not officially announced, you know, that they have Terence Crawford, but we don't know. Ricky Burns, they got him. Paul Butler, they got him. He's supposed to fight Casemiro. Don't get me started on Casemiro. There's some dirty, dirty rumors going around about that, or news, you know, about what happened with him. I'm just hoping it's not true, because if it's not true, it's very damaging to your reputation when somebody says some shit like that. But if it is true, it's just like, bro, like, what is you doing? They got Donaire, Badu Jack, Donnie Nietes, Regis Prograis, and now they're going to have Lou Dibella fighters. They've joined forces with, isn't this Yvonne Michel, GYM? There you go. He's got fighters like Berta BF. He had Adonis Stevenson, basically Canadian promoter. This is who they've been joining up with. Put it this way, it's kind of a big deal. You know, they don't have that full breakout, like that star yet, but something's definitely going on. Keep that name, Probellum, in your mind, like in your boxing mind. Something's going on there. Let's go take a look at the boxing schedule for the week. So what I was saying earlier is, by the way, this is Dan Refield's website, Fight Freaks Unite. I am a loyal subscriber. Best boxing schedule on the web. Here I am pasting it in the chat for you. If you want to bookmark it on your phone or whatever, this is the best boxing schedule on the web. So if you want to know like what fights are coming on this week, this is the way to go. And he updates it daily. So here's what we have this weekend. And I'm going to tell you the fights that I'm interested in before we move on to the next topics. Kanat Islam, don't really care about that. Sonny Kanto fights on the 24th. I think that's Thursday. So let's start here. Saturday, Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. We're just going through the schedule before I talk more about Taylor versus Catterall. Highly interested in this fight. I did get a chance to watch the gloves are off today. And right now, Jack Catterall looking like a dead man walking. You know, like I think he's gonna get stopped. Robeisy Ramirez, let me not say dead man walking. That's a little insensitive. Let's say it look like he's gonna get beat the fuck up. How about that? Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. That's going to be on ESPN Plus. What is that start time? I believe it's 1 p.m. Eastern. That card starts. Robeisy Ramirez versus Eric Donovan. And everybody else on this card, I've probably heard of. I know I watched Patty Donovan before. I really don't know who these people are, and I'm not going to act like I do. You know? So these are the only two fights I'm interested in on this card. Boom. Midday card here in the States. Going to be covering those two. Later on that night on Showtime, though, I really like this card. Chris Colbert versus Hector Garcia fighting for the WBA 130-pound title. To be the only champion at 130, right? Let me see. Yup. Oh, no. Isn't he still going to have to fight Roger Gutierrez again? Because he got sick. Oh, no. Gary Antoine Russell, one of the many Gary Russell brothers, taking on Victor Postol. Very, very good, you know, what's his rites of passage type fight. You know, Victor Postol is a high-level gatekeeper. I really like this fight. And then German Cajas returning. His career has been, the last, you know, few years against a Fernando Martinez. This is going to be on Showtime. Also, for the boxing purist and hardcores, the degenerate fans, Guillermo Rigondeaux was returning this weekend. After that stinker of a performance against Casemiro. And I was at Guillermo Rigondeaux last fight before that in Allentown, PA, and that was a stinker too. He just be stinking it up. Rigondeaux returns against let's see, I got him pulled up, don't I? I got Rigo pulled up. Where you at, Rigo? I could have sworn I had him pulled up. Hold on 1 minute. Let's see. Pull him up over here. Ew, Guillermo. But somehow, some way, I guarantee you my ass gonna find this fight to watch it. No stateside, but he's 41 years old. My God. So if he's listed at 41, that really means he probably like 48 in El Cubano years. Ew, Rigo. Yeah, but somehow, some way, I guarantee you I'm going to try to find a way to watch this fight. In fact, let me do a little quick Google search to see if it's broadcast anywhere. I'm going to find some dodgy-ass stream. Ew. I don't think I want to do it, but I got to. It's Rigo. This job ain't easy, man. This job is, but Rigo fight this weekend. This job is not easy. Ew. It's not easy. Yeah, I keep saying it. It's like Little Mongolia up in Allentown. They even got a White Castle. That was the highlight of my trip, going to White Castle. But White Castle burgers all wet and I ain't like it. I was hyped, and then when I'm in the car eating it on the freeway, all fat, and I'm like, it's some bullshit. It's not, like it used to be, or I thought it was as a kid. Fucking bullshit. Who else? Who else is fighting? Ray Robinson in Philly, taking on Cletus Pendarvis. Ray Robinson returns. Okay. You see how this is like a busy but weird kind of active weekend with guys like Ray Robinson, Kanat Islam, Joseph Adorno, Kevin Larana versus Borjan Dinu, Rigondeaux, Gary Antoine, Russell Colbert, Patty Donovan, Robeisy, Ramirez, Justin. You see how it's like a weird week? It's like, what the hell? Where all these fights come from? Sonny Conto. Like, bro, let's see. Let's go back down. And then we ain't even get to Sunday yet. Look. Then you got Lawrence Okolie versus Michael Cieslak. Karim Gouffry versus Jordan Gill. Gael Yafai versus Carlos. I don't know who none of these people are. Okay, we got Fabio Wardley. Anthony Fowler, Dempsey McKean, Campbell Hatton. Okay, all right. Nice little Sunday joint. All right, I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, it's a pretty busy. Pretty busy. Who said I don't eat fast food? What are y'all talking? Yo, y'all don't start picking me, motherfucker. You don't eat fast food though, motherfucker. Don't start your shit. I'll cuss you out. Don't get me started. You ain't got. Y'all go on them other YouTube channels, talk that trash. I don't block people here. I'll cuss you out. So don't start with me, man. Mess with the bull, you get the horns. So where were we at? What's next on the schedule? Chris Colbert, let's talk about that real quick, the 130-pound division. Let's go look at these rankings, see what's going on here. Okay, so we do have Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson taking place on April the 30th. That's going to be in Vegas. Any rumors on the undercard? I haven't heard anything. Archie Sharp is supposed to be the mandatory after for Shakur Stevenson. You got Kenichi Ogawa. He's free game. He can fight on PBC or on, Top Rank, but I'm pretty sure he's probably affiliated with Top Rank through Honda. Not sure, though. 130 is pretty all over the place. It's kind of hard to really read, what's going on. For example, Colbert won this belt, right? Which I'm predicting for him to win, even if he does have to fight Gutierrez. I don't see him in Top Rank, coming together, for a fight. I like Colbert. He's very outspoken. And, basically, let me tell you, the best way I can put it is, you can tell, he's not one of the fighters that seems like he's going to let politics get in the way. So for him to unify the 130-pound division, I'm wondering, man. I'm wondering. And my question is, can the 130-pound division have an undisputed champion? Not because of, the fighters, but will politics allow it? And from what I'm seeing so far, I'm not sure. Maybe we can get a 3-bout unification between the winner of Valdez, Stevenson, and Ogawa. Or, if Colbert goes on to try to get Ogawa. But I don't know. Not sure. I don't never go on City Line Avenue. I don't have I have one more tie to Philly, and that's my daughter, and I'm trying to get her out of there. But no, I do not go to Philly anymore. Yeah, I'm not seeing a 130 division being able to be, not in 2022. And even in 2023, I can't see the division being undisputed. And I've been saying that for a couple of years now. I just don't see it at the division, Let's see. Next, Dylan Whyte signs his portion of the contract to face Tyson Fury, April the 23rd, 2022. What was the purse bid again? 42 million, something like that? Listen, I like Dylan Whyte. I do. But he's about 2 levels at most better than Derek Chisora. And remember, he went life and death with him. Let me pull up his resume real quick. Take your time out. Like the video. That really does help. Subscribe. Will likely be. I want to watch UFC this weekend, so that's why I'm not sure if I'm going to stream during the Chris Colbert card. But if I don't stream during the Chris Colbert card, I'm definitely streaming during the Josh Taylor card. But I want to cover UFC. So let me see. Tyson Fury. And I've been covering Tyson Fury for now 10 years, like when people thought he wasn't nothing. And I got to be honest with you, I'm getting a little worn out. It's like, all right, bro, dosser, bum, bum, bum. It's like, all right, you know, I'll beat him all in one night. It's like, all right, bro, all right. It's getting a little, you know, it's getting a little too much for me. But I want to know where this talk has come from of Dillian Whyte not promoting the fight. I mean, yeah, he's been quiet as shit. And, you know, I'm guessing that, you know, he's upset that he's pretty much been forced to take this fight. I mean, he's making a career high payday, but he wanted more. But how does it help him to not, you know, engage in promotion and, you know, the press conference? Now, it's going to be a top rank and Frank Warren controlled event. And he said some things about Frank Warren in the past. You know, well, everybody calls him fish eyes. And me personally, I don't see it. I don't see the fish thing. You know, and what else has he said? Let me go Google some Dillian Whyte quotes. But when it comes to business, man, put that shit aside. And, you know, Frank Warren been shot before. I'm sure he's not taking that shit to heart. You know, he was shot and he ain't tell. Dillian Whyte. But yeah, if he looks like a fish, he look like a fish. You know? Yeah, see, what's this? I may have been on my ass for a few seconds, but you have been on your ass for years. Yeah, I'm not really paying attention to this crap. Oh yeah, this one right here, fucking fish-eye snake. A fish-eye snake. That sounds sinister. Good morning, Dylan. It's Wednesday in case you missed a few days. Oh, he's talking about when he got knocked out by, oh yeah. Listen, I just hope that, you know, Dillian Whyte, I want to see the press conference between him and Tyson Fury. You know, don't rob us of that. Even though I feel that he would lose the fight, because I'm trying to find a way, right? How does Dillian Whyte defeat Tyson Fury? He ain't going to outbox him. It has to be one punch, right? Now, we've seen Tyson Fury take some mean shots from arguably one of the heaviest, biggest punchers in boxing history in Deontay Wilder. You know, but definitely in this generation, one of the hardest punchers, if not of the heavyweights. And you seen like him get hit right here on the side of the head and the fat just rippled down all the way till it got to his legs and the legs like gave out. If Tyson Fury can eat that from a 6'6", 6'7", 6'6", 6'7" or so Deontay Wilder, what can a 6'3", 6'4" fighter do? I don't see it. I don't see it. I like Dillian Whyte. He's got a very, very nice resume to just have only 2 losses. 28-2 with 19 KOs, only stopped twice. 34 years old. Alexander Povetkin, you know, he avenged it. Oscar Rivas, quality win. Derek Chisora, I really don't rate those fights very highly, to be honest with you. Joseph Parker, very, very solid win. Robert Helenius, that win is aging really, really well. And I covered that fight, by the way, too. I covered all these fights. You know, the Anthony Joshua fight, you know, well, he got his ass knocked out. But overall, looking at the resume, let's take what you feel about the fighters aside. You know, let's just say known fighters or fighters with some type of name or notoriety. Anthony Joshua, Dave Allen, Derek Chisora, Robert Helenius, Lucas Brown, Joe Parker, Oscar Rivas, Alexander Povetkin, you know, and now Tyson Fury. Listen, one of the best resumes in, you know, the division overall, but I just don't see him beating Tyson Fury. I can't see how it happens. It's supposed to be here in the States on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. I'm interested in what they're going to try to charge us for that shit. Now, it's not that I don't view Tyson Fury as a pay-per-view fighter, but it's like, we got to be realistic here. Tyson Fury is a pay-per-view fighter, depends on who he's fighting. And here in the States, Dillian Whyte ain't going to do it. So you're selling it off of, they're going to be selling off of him knocking out Deontay Wilder. That's what the fight's going to be sold off here in the States, not who Dylan Whyte is, like, you know, because fans here in the States don't, you know, like, you don't know who he is unless you're like really a hardcore. You don't know who he is. Do not expect for the undercard to be any good. Maybe we get Anthony Yard on that joint, I'm guessing, but you know, don't count on it too much. I'm not really predicting or expecting for that undercard to be that good. But overall, April and May is looking, you know, solid for boxing with Spence versus Ugas fight I'm looking forward to. If you haven't heard, let me go through the notes here. Spence versus Ugas is supposed to have Isaac Cruz and Yurkis Gamboa on the card, and Butayev versus Stanionis to be the mandatory for Spence versus Ugas. I do not want to see Yurkis Gamboa anymore. I want him done. I want him gone. I'm sick of looking at him as a fighter. I don't want to see him. He's got 1 foot, 1 shoe. What other show notes we got here? Danny Jacobs. I'm going to keep saying this as many streams as I can. Danny Jacobs need to rematch John Ryder ASAP. Rematch him ASAP. Because John Ryder going to get Canelo no time soon. Like, Danny Jacobs need not disappear. I understand he commands a lot of money, or from Eddie Hearn or whatever. Plans all went to shit. But he need to run it back. Like, you know, we haven't heard anything from him. He need to run that back. What else? The WBA ordered Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero, but let's face it, we already knew that was going to happen. I'm guessing that's going to be the June pay-per-view. And here's another question. Rumors are going around that Andy Ruiz is no longer going to be with Eddie Reynoso. Anybody heard that? And when is Andy Ruiz going to fight? He's only had 1 fight since he lost to Joshua in Saudi Arabia. That was at the end of 2019. And then when he came back, he himself went life and death with Chris Arreola. By the way, Eddie Hearn is trying to put together Chris Arreola versus Derek Chisora. So you got to think, with the pay-per-views right now for this year, April, from the PBC side, April is Spence Ugas. May is going to be Canelo. PBC is not going to compete with that, even if they are promoting Canelo's fight or not. That month is going to be Canelo. June is looking like it's going to be Tank Davis and Rolly Romero. July has to be Andy Ruiz, right, for his pay-per-view return, right? It's got to be July or August. He commands so much money, and that's PBC fault. If the rumors are true from what I've heard, you know, that's their fault, you know, to keep him, you know, on their side. But now he's got to be on pay-per-view, and if when he does come back, it's got to be either Deontay Wilder, and Deontay Wilder wants to have some type of spiritual journey before he comes back. He wants to take some psychedelics. I'm on with it. I took shrooms before, and I want to do DMT with Mike Tyson as my shepherd. You know, I want to meet the Toad. But I don't think Deontay Wilder's coming back, and definitely not this year. So who does that leave? Andy Ruiz versus Paul Luis Ortiz. I want to see that fight, and I'm tired of Luis Ortiz too. It's time for him to go. I want him to retire. So my prediction is, if it's not going to be Wilder versus Ruiz in July, then it's going to be Ortiz. Then it's going to be Ruiz versus Ortiz in July. My personal opinion. No, Chris Arreola versus Andy Ruiz was a good fight, and Chisora versus Arreola is going to be a damn good fight as well. You know, I have no issues with Chisora versus Arreola. No issues at all. But do I see it happening? I don't know, because, you know, when Eddie Hearn starts talking about PBC fighters, they never really happen. So when he says, yeah, we're trying to talk to the PBC side about such and such, always think it's going to be the other fighter. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, we're also waiting on news on what Terence Crawford's going to do. That's going to be some big news. Like, who's he going to be with, you know? Andy Ruiz versus Robert Helenius. I like that fight, but the problem is they would have to put that on pay-per-view. You see what I'm saying? And what's going on with Joe Joyce? Let's go look at the heavyweight division before we go, since we're at the end of the stream here. By the way, thanks for watching. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. Getting back to consistency. Okay. Joseph Parker and Joe Joyce should fight, in my opinion. Frank Sanchez, I never want to see him again. But he's still in the mix. You got Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz, Felix Hergovitz, and the Chinaman, Zhili Zhang, supposed to be fighting. Chisora and Huey Fury, are in talks, but also, according to Eddie Hearn. And Chisora is also supposedly in talks to fight Chris Arreola. Murad Gassiev, I wouldn't be surprised if he retires any day now. Who else? Tony Yoka and Martin Okolie still are going to be fighting. They're waiting for a date. Michael Hunter, we don't know what the hell he's doing. Trevor Bryan and Daniel Dubois are going to be ordered to fight soon, or it's going to go to a purse bid. That's going to be interesting with Don King and Frank Warren, and I expect that Don King's going to try to drag it out. So I expect for it to be a purse bid. Who else? Yeah, if it's not Luis Ortiz, Robert Helenius next, or Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz, or Andy Ruiz versus Robert Helenius, then maybe Frank Sanchez, Robert Helenius. Then we're talking about PBC fighters. If you're a casual, you don't know what I'm talking about, but these, we got to look at fights that PBC will make in-house. PBC's definitely got some options. And then you got Otto Wallin, who's floating around out there, fighting on boxer cards with Demetrius Salita. Under Demetrius Salita. So yeah. That is it for today. So we are going to be covering a lot of boxing this week. I'm just trying to figure out how am I going to spread all this shit out. And I'm guessing sometime soon. Really, we're pretty much in March. So I'm guessing sometime soon, within the next 3 weeks or so, we're going to hear about Canelo versus Bivol, because they're going to want to start getting that promoted soon, especially if it's going to be on the zone, or who Canelo's going to fight, whether it's Canelo versus Bivol and Golovkin, or if it's going to be Canelo versus Charlo and Benavidez. And I've talked about before, I would personally want Canelo versus Charlo. But Canelo versus Bivol, it is an intriguing fight. It is. And I would have to go on the record to say that Bivol, in my opinion, from what I've seen covering these fighters, I feel that Bivol would be a better fight, a tougher fight for Canelo, if that makes sense, from my opinion. Because we're actually seeing him going against a full-fledged technician. And the last time he went against a technician was what? Irisne Dilar. I'm talking about a technician, a boxer. You see what I'm saying? I mean, Golovkin, and Bivol's a full 175-pounder. But we don't know. Canelo might catch weight even, because remember, Bivol is one on the record to say that he would fight him, at 168. Canelo might say 170. Remember how Amir Khan did Kell Brook, and we haven't even had a chance to talk about that. Remember how Amir Khan did Kell Brook? Kell Brook said, look, I'll fight him anytime, any weight. So he said, all right, 149. Then Kell Brook, throughout the fight week, is bitching and complaining about the weight. But he did make the weight, and he did get the knockout. Shout out to Kell Brook. And now, you got Chris Eubank Jr., going on the record saying he want to fight, and saying that he should move up to 160 and fighting, and then Kell Brook's team is talking about 155. It's just all right, Kell, it's congratulations on the win, but I still feel that I'm guessing that since Kell Brook's going to still be competing, he's going to want to compete at 154. He needs to stay away from 147 unless he tries to go the catchweight route, see what's going on with Conor Ben or whatever. But I think 154 is where he should be, for health reasons. But at 154, can you see any fighters in the top? Like, can you see him as a world champion at 154? You know, can you confidently say that he can beat Erickson Lubin? Yeah, Erickson Lubin had some issues, you know, with getting knocked out by Charlo and having issues with, who did he fight last he had issues with? Who was it that he fought last? Jason Rosario, he punched him in the stomach, but who was it after that? Lubin's supposed to be fighting Fundora next. I'm just not confident in Kell Brook, if that makes sense. I'm not confident in him. And, you know, I think that he should pursue that payday, you know, against Chris Eubank Jr., maybe try to get Chris Eubank Jr., you know, to have like a rehydration clause. I don't know. You know, but I don't feel confident in him at 160 or at 154. But at 147, he shouldn't be there. You know, other potential fights, maybe against Liam Smith, the winner of Liam Smith versus Jesse Vargas. Maybe. But at this point in time in his career, Kell's going to be 36 later on this year. You would think that his next fight is going to be a payday-ish type fight, or you think he's going to backtrack and get some like homecoming, all of the lights type of build-up type fight, you know, and then, you know, start building towards a significant fight in 2023. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Kell Brook's next fight is going to be some bullshit fight and build up to a fight around this time next year against a Liam Smith, a Conor Benn, or even a Chris Eubank Jr. That's what I'm thinking. For some reason, I'm not thinking that, you know, because he's been like reinvented a little bit. You see what I'm saying? And they're going to milk that. This is boxing in 2022. They're going to milk that shit. That's what I'm thinking. Because it's hard for me to see him going all the way up to 160 again. You know, he got his eye socket broken twice. One at 160, very next fight at 147. So it's hard to see him going back up to 160. So he's going to try to get and play. He's going to try to play the A side and get every type of advantage against Chris Eubank Jr. as possible, like having him come to 155 or some old bullshit like that. And Chris Eubank Jr. has never weighed that low or anywhere near it before, from my understanding. And I've been covering him for like 10 years or so. Kell Brook versus Evanescence at 147. But 147, I think he's going to be a catchweight fighter. I don't think we're going to see Kell Brook weighing at 147 anymore unless it's a super significant fight that they're going to put on pay-per-view and line his pockets. I don't think it's going to be 147 anymore. It's going to be a catchweight type situation or 154. That's what I think. Personal opinions. But anyway, guys, let me get up out of here. I'm not sure what the schedule is tomorrow. I don't know if we have any media events tomorrow. I got a whole bunch of emails I got to respond to, bro. Oh my gosh. Like, I let it build up. WBC channel, WBO. People asking me Magic Spoon. You ever hear the cereal Magic Spoon? They want me to do an ad in my videos and like, yo, eat Magic Spoon cereal. People want me to wear watches and shit. Like, I just don't, you know, it's a little overwhelming. So anyway, I'm getting up out of here. Thank you for watching. I am T3 Controversy with FV360. We cover every single major fight live. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. The links to my social media are right down below in the description box. And take your time to download the WBC app powered by the Vive Network. Roku, Android, Apple, everything you need is down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.